Some foods just feel like a big, warm hug, right? And let me tell you, a good hearty beef and barley soup is right at the top of that list. It's the kind of meal that makes you feel cozy and cared for, especially on a chilly day. It's simple, it's filling, and it's packed with goodness. But there's a world of difference between a basic, watery soup and one that's so rich and flavorful it makes you close your eyes and just say, "Yummo." It's the kind of soup that can make you totally forget it's mostly good-for-you veggies and grains. So how do we get there? How do we take a humble soup and turn it into something spectacular? It's not about a million fancy ingredients or complicated techniques. It's about a few key steps that make all the difference. I'm going to let you in on the secret. There are 3 things, just 3, that are absolutely non-negotiable for getting that deep, satisfying flavor. You ready? First, you have to sear the meat until it's gorgeous and brown. Second, you have to toast the barley. And third, you have to be patient. That's it. All right. First things first, let's talk beef. This is the star of the show. Start with the good stuff. I like to use a chuck roast for this. Forget pre-cut stew meat. It's often odds and ends. A chuck roast has beautiful marbling. That's the fat, and fat equals flavor. Cut it yourself into big 1-inch cubes. Bigger pieces stay juicier after a long simmer. Put the cubes on a plate. Sprinkle salt on all sides. Sprinkle pepper on all sides. Don't be shy. Grab your heavy bottom pot. A Dutch oven is perfect. Drizzle a couple tablespoons of oil. Grapeseed. Drizzle a couple tablespoons of oil. Vegetable. Get the oil screaming hot. You want to hear a sizzle the second the meat hits the pan. That's the sound of flavor being born. Don't crowd the pan. Too much meat will steam instead of sear. Work in batches if you have to. It takes a few extra minutes, but it's worth it. Let the cubes sit. Don't move them, a couple minutes per side. You're looking for a deep, dark brown crust. That's the Maillard reaction. Pure flavor magic. It'll give your broth incredible savory depth. This is not the time to rush. This step elevates the whole soup. Once browned on all sides, use tongs to remove the beef to a clean plate. Okay, our beef is seared and resting, and our pot has all those tasty brown bits at the bottom. Now it's time to build our flavor base with some classic aromatics. We're talking about the holy trinity of soup: onion, carrot, celery. This combo, also known as a mirepoix, is the backbone of so many delicious dishes. You'll want to chop them into a nice, small, even dice. This helps them cook at the same rate and melt into the soup, releasing all their sweet, earthy goodness into the broth. If your pot looks a little dry after searing the beef, add another little drizzle of oil. Toss in the chopped onion, toss in the chopped carrots, toss in the chopped celery. Hear that sizzle as they hit the hot pot. Give them a good stir with a wooden spoon. Put that fawn to work. Scrape those brown bits. As the vegetables cook, they'll release moisture, which helps lift the browned bits into the veggies. Those bits dissolve into the vegetables, adding a huge punch of flavor. Keep heat at medium and sauté for 5 to 7 minutes. You're not browning them, just softening until tender. Onions turn translucent and carrots brighten. Your kitchen should smell amazing now. This slow sauté cooks out the raw sharpness of onion and brings out the natural sweetness of the vegetables. It's a simple step that adds a ton of complexity. Once softened, add 2 flavor powerhouses. Now for the part that I think is a total game changer, the secret that makes the barley in this soup so good. We've got our softened aromatics, our garlic is fragrant, and our tomato paste is cooked down. The pot is smelling incredible. Most people would dump in the liquid and the grain, but we are not most people. We are going to do something special. Add the pearled barley directly into the pot with those vegetables. No liquid yet. Stir the dry barley around in the pot for 2 to 3 minutes. This is toasting the grain. You're toasting the barley in the residual oil and heat. Keep it moving with your spoon so it doesn't burn. It wakes up the barley, bringing out a wonderful, nutty aroma, like raw nuts versus toasted nuts. Toasted is fantastic. Toasting does more than enhance flavor. It helps the barley keep its integrity as it cooks. Heat firms up the outside of each grain, so it's much less likely to break down into a goopy mush. Instead, each little pearl will remain distinct, with a slightly firm bite and a pleasant chew. It transforms the final texture, much more satisfying mouthfeel. How do you know when it's done? Use your nose. After a couple minutes, the aroma changes, from raw grain to warm, nutty, toasty. That's your cue. This 2-minute step is one of the biggest secrets to next-level beef and barley soup. Tiny effort, massive flavor payoff, and massive texture payoff. Don't you dare skip it. Your soup will thank you for it. Our barley is toasted and nutty, and our flavor base is ready to go. It's time to bring the whole family back together in the pot. Add your beautifully seared beef right back into the Dutch oven, along with any juices that have collected on the plate, right back into the Dutch oven. Now we turn this into soup. Pour in a good quality beef stock. Using a rich, flavorful stock is key, as it's the very soul of your soup. For extra flavor, I like to toss in a couple of bay leaves and a fresh sprig of thyme. These herbs will gently infuse the broth as it simmers. Now, let's talk about adding that extra something, that savory depth that makes you go, wow. This is where we introduce a little umami. Umami is that fifth taste. It's savory, meaty, and deeply satisfying. A little splash of Worcestershire sauce is my secret weapon here. Or soy sauce is my secret weapon here. You don't need a lot, just a tablespoon or so. It won't make the soup taste like soy sauce. It just rounds out the beefy flavor and adds a layer of complexity that is absolutely delicious. It makes everything taste more like itself. Once all your ingredients are in the pot, give it a good stir and bring the liquid up to a gentle boil. As soon as you see those bubbles, immediately turn the heat down to low. What you want is a very, very gentle simmer. Just a few lazy bubbles breaking the surface every now and then. A hard boil will make the meat tough and the broth cloudy. We want tender meat and a clear, rich broth. After about an hour of simmering, it's time to check on our masterpiece. The whole house should smell warm and wonderful. But how do you know when the soup is truly done? It's all about texture, the beef, the barley. Go ahead and fish out a piece of beef with your spoon. It should be incredibly tender, falling apart with just a little pressure from the side of the spoon. If it's still tough or chewy, it needs more time. Just put the lid back on and let it keep simmering. Next, check the barley. Scoop some up and give it a taste. The grains should be plump and fully cooked through. They should still have a slight chewiness, a little bit of a pop. This is why we toasted it. It shouldn't be mushy or pasty at all. The barley will have soaked up all that delicious, beefy broth, so each little grain is a burst of flavor. Fall apart tender beef. Pleasantly chewy barley. It's a perfect harmony of soft and firm. Now we can finally talk about the most important rule of seasoning: taste at the end. Remember how I said not to add salt at the beginning? This is why. The beef stock has salt, the soy sauce has salt, and as the soup simmers and reduces, that saltiness concentrates. Plus, the barley soaks up a lot of the seasoning. If you had salted it heavily at the start, it could easily be too salty by now. So, take a spoonful of the broth and taste it. Now is the time to adjust. Add salt and freshly ground black pepper until the flavors pop. We did it! The beef is tender, the barley is perfectly cooked, and the broth is seasoned to perfection. It's time for the best part: eating. But first, a couple of quick finishing touches. Go ahead and fish out that bay leaf and the thyme sprig. They've done their job, and you don't want anyone to get a woody surprise in their bowl. Give the soup one last gentle stir. Look at that rich color and all those delicious chunks of meat and vegetables swimming in that gorgeous broth. It's a thing of beauty. To serve, ladle the hot soup into deep, warm bowls. I love using big rustic bowls that you can cup in your hands. It just adds to the whole cozy experience. To make it look as good as it tastes, I always add a little something fresh on top. A sprinkle of freshly chopped flat-leaf parsley is perfect. It adds a pop of bright green color and a clean, fresh flavor that cuts through the richness of the soup. It's a simple garnish that makes a huge difference, making the bowl look like it came from a fancy restaurant. And you absolutely need something to sop up every last drop of that incredible broth. A thick slice of crusty bread is a must-have. Whether it's a rustic sourdough, a crusty baguette, or a simple whole grain loaf, you need something to dip. There's nothing better than that final bite of bread completely saturated with the rich, beefy soup.